Welcome back to Paradise. Still in the seeding round. Heat number 10 just got started, and the waves are still looking super fun and rippable. Different type of day at Teahupo'o. Not about the heavy, scary barrels. The world's best are fearless today. Just trying to make sense of the lineup, do some big turns, and maybe get the odd vision to surf with a couple of the veterans of the tour, some of the most established on this wave, Michel and Jeremy Flores. Trying to start things quickly.
Just one of the standouts here, winner of the AI award, which means you've got to be having a real proper dig. Here he is, Joey.
Off the bottom, going for an aggressive hack is Flores. Trims it off the coping and hops out of the inside corner. Jeremy Flores' backhand attack is incredible. We were talking about that earlier today, Barton, with the regular footers, of developing a reputation on their backhand. And so we've been educated on a lot. That's been happening with the coral reefs around the world. As we know, we've got over 1 million species that live in the coral reefs around the world. We'll get back to action with Flores throwing a couple of big power jams on the backhand.
Life lesson. The whole thing of being a competitor, you go through so much. Michel Bourez. We'll come back to that.
Up and down, just waiting with priority for a while. And that was the last thing he wanted to happen, to start off with an incomplete turn. Fired up to be here, and I feel like now, he's definitely surfing at 100%, injury-free and ready to take out a big win.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than not being able to be there when you want to be there.
It's really interesting because he was talking about it earlier this year, saying that he actually still deals with some pain. He gets some headaches because of that, and he said it's sort of changed his outlook on heavy conditions when he paddles out. Quick turn off the top there. Coming around the corner is the Spartan, Michel Bourez.
But in that situation, you see here Michel going the first one, and it's a bit wobbly on the face, and it's not quite as steep and hollow.
The California Colapinto on the wind-up. Beautiful searing carve. Really connected off the bottom. Wraps it. Driving through the lip on that carving turn. Inside corner, not much water. Griffin wisely kicks out.
Could be the best wave of the heat so far, and the obvious thing there is the second waves of the set. Griffin on a beautiful big wall, drives off the bottom, puts that hand on the rail and carves and drives down the face out of the top. Another carve out of the top. So nothing on that one that was too tight, too critical. They're a little bit wider and a little bit rounder, so I don't expect that score maybe to go. Let's have a look at this one. Now that was beautiful. It's interesting, the different angles and the slow-mos and what you see when you get the chance to see them differently. So that wave from this angle to me looked better than it did. The turn was nice and tight.
And now the backhand wrap from Michel Bourez. Sits on the roof, big float, pulls it, and just lets himself fall onto the reef. Yeah, I know I do want to win it, but let's see how this thing flows through. What happened on this last wave?
First turn, sort of drove out of the lip, and second turn there, nice carve into this floater, critical down there, and you can see this section, see how shallow that was. Where he went forward into was so shallow. You see that hand on the wave, driving, using the arms and the body to extend up and on top of the lip, and then free fall drop out of it.
WCT, the championship tour, I should say, a qualifier for those spots to represent your country in the Olympics. And it's thinking about France, you're thinking Michel Bourez, Jeremy Flores, Joan Duru. The best at Chopes is coming up next. Owen Wright preparing. Lively backhand float for Michel Bourez, and he's out.
Just looked looser and more alive. Unfortunately, that wave didn't stay open.
Chipping in and slamming on the brakes a few times. Colapinto does find a quick vision and forces a wild closeout turn with absolutely no water under his feet.
And when that white water gets you, Joey, you know you're getting rolled around and your limbs are going this way and that way. Let his arms penetrate. Here we go, replay. A couple of little tweaks, little turns. Nicely done. A really interesting interpretation of that situation. I think he did it beautifully. Came out, wanted something more. Gets that last re-entry in. Kind of a make, but kind of not a make. So you're not sure how much reward he's going to get for that. Here's that angle that shows us exactly how hollow and how tight he is. High in the lip there, really high, and then drop down into the tube, fades it down, grabs the rail for the bottom turn, hits the lip, makes the re-entry. Broke your fins out riding onto the coral reef. So he's having a look at those fins right now going, are they still there?
As we go right into a backhand hack from Flores. Great timing on the second blast through the lip. Two-turn combo, he steps off. Griffin now under priority will just roll in. Setting up the lip line. Nice clean backhand snap. Woo. Quick re-entry off the lip, 2 good turns. He'll get out of there before the shallow reef. Looking to better that 2.93 and his lead out front. Watching his first turn again, Barton, how'd you like it?
Nice, whipped it out of the top. This second turn I really like. Tight, flares the tail. It was in the lip, right in that critical section of the wave. I'm sure the judges will like it, and I'm sure he will get a better score than that 2.93 and hold on to his lead and put a little more pressure on the other guys. Here it is, replay. Beautiful placement, and then that little whip of the tail. Got the nose facing vertically down the face. Closed right up. There was really no exit, but it felt like he was doing whatever he could to try and create one.
Then Jeremy, big snap combination there. Earned some open face as he went down the line.
And that familiarity with reef breaks, as you said, growing up in Reunion Island.
Griffin Colapinto grabs around the takeoff, staying open and just getting sucked up and sent over the falls. That exit was not clear, but you could tell that Griffin wasn't about to give up on it.
And past times where you haven't achieved what you want. So here he goes.
Michel Bourez, late takeoff on a smaller wave. He'll just play with the whitewater quickly there. You could tell he wasn't quite interested in the rest of that ride. Michel Bourez, the high seed in this heat, as he's number 11 in the world. Both athletes ripping, well-deserved win.
Unless you're in it.
For Canoa. As we continue, 4 minutes to go, Colapinto gets a carve out of the way, and he's going to fade out. Nothing left on the inside corner that way. It's like a unique individual that's looking to pave his own way on tour. Minute 55 to go. Jeremy rolls in. Aggressive bottom turn, big sweep in the pocket. He is out of there.
Leave that one go, Griffin.
Griffin with a little bit of room to move. Grew in size after he dropped in, but he'll misread that section and throws that one away. Solely Bailey.
Count it down, he's got a chance.
Did Michel get up in time? This is very close. He's got to surf it like it counts. One hack behind it, staying pretty full in the reef. Bonus section, Michel Bourez out front. Was it a 5.04 for you? I just saw it the same way. 2.6 for Michel, staying in third. He'll deal with the elimination round. Flores moving on in second, and Colapinto taking the win over the veterans on tour.